Hello, my friend. I'm Joy. I'm an intuitive energy healer, and I'm going to put my website in the description. That way, if you want to know more about me or my services, all the information will be there. So often, empaths and highly sensitive, especially, have a belief that they're only safe when they're invisible. So if you grew up in any kind of abuse or trauma, or even any kind of a restriction, sometimes that can cause you to feel, well, as long as I'm invisible, then I'm safe. Or I'm only safe when I'm invisible. In other words, when I live a smaller life, then I'm safe. That often leads to control issues. Because if you can control your life, you can control what you do, you can control the people you're around, you can control the distance you live or travel or work from your home, then there's a part of you that says, as long as I'm in control about all this, so you control the interactions in your relationships, then I'm safe. So, but the core belief often is, if I'm invisible, in other words, the smaller my world, the more safe I am. There you go. Take a deep breath in, let go. Yet we all know of people or have heard of people in the world who are living, larger lives, living life in a bigger way, interacting, traveling, yet they're safe. So, okay, so there's a part of you saying, like, you just maybe realize that for the first time. Well, yeah, there's other people out there that are doing things and they're safe. All the ways you learned as a child, you either learned or adopted as a coping strategy as a child, that the best way to stay safe was to be invisible. And now as an adult, you are keeping your world very small so that you can control it. Let's acknowledge that. Acknowledge that and let that go. Hey, there's a part of you feeling a little bit anxious right now, saying, well, then how am I going to stay safe? You see, if you've been living this and if you find your life is somewhat isolated, or you just keep putting things off, or maybe travel, I want to someday, and yet it never happens. Is it because you believe living your life from a smaller, like a smaller footprint, is the way to stay safe? Maybe you've never thought of it that way. But could that be why the money isn't showing up no matter what you do? Or as soon as you have money, you spend it? Because how does money relate to all this? If you've got a belief that the smaller my world, then the more I can ensure my safety, or some kind of belief like that, I'm only safe when I'm invisible, something like that. So you want to keep your world contained and small, controlled, in order to stay safe. You are definitely going to limit your money supply and how much money you have in your life. Because let's say you're living a life like that is quite controlled and self-contained, and yet you want to travel. There's somewhere you've always wanted to travel, or you just want to see other parts of the world. It's been a dream of yours, maybe your whole life, or something like that. Something that gets you out of the life you're living right now. But you never seem to have the money. Well, what if that is a part of you saying to yourself, your unconscious self, not your conscious self, the best way to stay safe is to not have the money to go do these things. So you're always just getting by, or you're struggling, or you have enough money to do things locally, but you can't really travel, because nothing goes perfect in travel, no matter how well you have it planned out. There are always going to be unknowns. There you go. Feels like a light bulb might have just gone on for a few people here. So ask yourself, am I limiting my money supply because then I don't have to live life in a bigger way? Because let's say a bunch of money started coming in, whether you created passive income, you started getting more clients, you got a significant raise at your job, you got a new job that pays you twice as much, or you got an inheritance, something like that. So a significant amount of money came in. You might, for a while, put that all in the bank and save it up. But then what? Yeah, exactly. There it is. I could just feel that within you. You're going to want to do something with that money. And then all your fears come up. Well, yeah, I've always wanted to travel here. I've always wanted to do this, or I've wanted to take this action, but oh my gosh. Now that means my life is going to get bigger. I won't be able to control everything. So, all the ways there's a part of you that has been limiting yourself, your actions, and your life as because you learned as a child, or you developed the coping strategy as a child, that was a way to stay safe. And all the ways that is also affecting the money flow into your life and your abundance. So acknowledge that and then let that go. There you go. There's some happiness. There's some lightness. So on the flip side of that, I'm only safe if I'm invisible, or some version of that, is also an amazing world. And people are out there all the time doing amazing things and taking actions, and they're safe. So start to pay attention to that. Start to notice that and pay attention to that. Or any times you have gone out of your comfort zone and you've traveled or you've taken action on something. And hey, you're still here, so you're safe. It's like you're retraining your conditioning and your mind to know that you are safe. You're releasing that trauma and retraining yourself to know that I'm safe. And you're retraining your nervous system as well to know that I'm safe. I took this action today. I got out of my comfort zone. I went, traveling. I traveled here for a few days. I got out of my comfort zone. Hey, I'm still safe. So that story, the mind has been telling you of I'm only safe as long as I, live a controlled life or I'm invisible. That hasn't been the truth after all. It's just something you were taught. So give yourself permission to know I am safe. Do something. What if you did something the next 24 hours? Even if it's send an email, contact somebody, pick up the phone and make an appointment. Doesn't have to be big, but you did something out of your comfort zone and then notice, hey, I'm still here and I'm safe. Give yourself a pat on the back, acknowledge yourself. You deserve it. Take a deep breath in, let that go. There you go, my friend. Namaste.